Hey guys, Lo-Fi here, back at it again with another video, this time on the McFarlane Toys Batman and Bane 2-pack. Now, I never usually do McFarlane figures, not that I don't have any, I have plenty. I just don't really make reviews of them because, I don't know, they're not very popular for me. Anyway, the reason why I did this is because as soon as I saw it, I pre-ordered it immediately. I thought they looked incredible together. Plus, I have the new Knightfall Batman from Mafex, and I just wanted the bigger Bane because I did end up pre-ordering the Mafex Bane. I'm certain it'll come in next week, or at least I hope it does. And I'll be really excited to show you guys that as well because I wanted to compare it to this Bane, and because I wanted to do some figure photography with both of them and, interact that way. I also really like the look of this battle damage Batman. I thought he looked great, and it makes me want to get more McFarlane Batman villains. I do have a couple that I can show off towards the end of this video. I do want to get more of the Knightfall collection from McFarlane, like the Zaz, the Catwoman. I do want to get the new Penguin as well. I know that's not really part of it, but I want to get more classic Batman villains to fight this Batman. And I'll show off some other mega figs and things like that because I missed out on the original McFarlane Bane. He looked pretty good, pretty limited with accessories, but I like the design of that one. I like this design better. And I will get into this. And I don't usually have the box in the background, but I like the look of this box and I like what's in it. So I'll show you guys. Let me move this out of the way real quick. But here is the box. It's pretty shiny, so it's just a recreation of the cover of the issue where Batman got his back broken in Knightfall, and it looks pretty great. But that's not the exciting part. The exciting part is what comes in it. And you can kind of use this as like a little background diorama for your figure photography. And it's the Batcave. You have like the little Robin memorial, maybe like Scarface right here, the giant penny, the dinosaur. It looks awesome. Again, it's a little shiny for photos, but other than that, I thought that it was a nice touch. I like this. I like this a lot, and I think it would be fun and, get a little creative with photos, You could do something kind of special with this. Anyway, did that out of the way, and I will show off Batman and Bane. I'll get into the Batman first because he's the Knightfall Batman. It's the same body buck, pretty much. Honestly, I would say this is more akin to the Catman buck, which is the Knightfall body, but without the embossed logo, because that's what the other Batman figure has, is that raised logo. I like this logo. This one is fairly clean on mine, and again, this is the same body mold, but if you've never received that figure, I'll get into the articulation as well. But the difference between this Batman and the previous Knightfall Batman is that the blues are brighter on this one and the gray is darker. And I like this look a lot. I wish we would get like a clean version of this. I think that would make a really incredible looking Batman. The only other major difference is that this Batman has a wired cape. And you can see all of the little details, like all the nicks, all the scratches, all the rips in the costume, and I think it looks incredible. And another thing that they added was some shading or some like coloring to show definition in the belt. Like they added like little extra blips of paint in the front of the belt to give it more depth, and I like that a lot. I think that looks awesome. And there's also some paint where the musculature and the suit is, where it comes together, and I think that also looks pretty good. I do have some scratches that aren't part of it. I think it was just like in the packaging, it got like scratched or something. But, I think it adds to the look. You see some more detail on the side. I like how detailed this figure is. It looks really great. And I feel like it uses it where it needs it, to where it's not going to affect the articulation or where it's going to rub or anything. I see it right there and on this arm. And that looks really, really cool. And then we get up here to the neck right there. You see another one right there. And then this face sculpt is a real winner for me. He has the bloody teeth. He has the like 5 o'clock shadow. His eyes are painted in darker. And you see like right here, you get some dark blue paint right there as well. And this head sculpt is a real winner for me. I like this one a lot. I love this head sculpt. This is a really great Batman head. A part of me wishes he would have come with another alternate head, but I'm glad this is the one that came with it. He looks incredible. And then you get the wired cape. There's just 2 wires running along both sides. It's a shiny blue, which I don't mind that much. If it was a darker blue or like a not so like a matte blue, I think that would have been fine too. But it still looks great, and posing it around is okay. It's decent. The inside of it's black. I think it looks cool. I really like my wired capes, so I think it's a fun feature. I think having the solid plastic cape probably wouldn't have worked for this 2-pack, because if you want to break Batman's back, it's kind of hard to do with a solid plastic cape. Not impossible, because his capes, McFarlane's capes, are kind of more or less like more pliable. Some of them are, but I like the wire. And I'll get into what he comes with real quick, and then I'll get into the articulation. So he comes with what he came with for the original Knightfall Batman, which is a couple of gripping hands for the Batarang, and these are all molded in like the same plastic color as the Batman, which I don't mind. I really like the blue on this Batman. But he does actually come with an extra set of hands, like some more sprawled out hands, like some action-y hands or some writhing in agony hands, and I like these a lot. These are really cool too. As for the articulation, like I said, it is the standard Knightfall Batman articulation, which is pretty decently articulated. So his head will look up about this far. It'll look down, not at all. It won't look down a whole lot. Got some good rotation, got some tilt because it's just a ball joint up in the neck, like a barbell, like top bottom. And it's really it's neat. It's neat. It has a good range of motion. His arms can go up about this far. Does a T-pose. It has like that ball socket in there, so it acts kind of like a butterfly joint. And then you have bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that go in really far. Again, this Batman has pretty good articulation. And he has these wrist balls that'll let you go back and forth and in and out, all that. And the torso will go back about this far, which is really good. It'll go forward about this far, which is alright for McFarlane. And then it can rotate at the top and the bottom. And then his legs, he can kick up about this far. I mean, you can kind of push it, but it'll go up about that far. His legs will go out about this far, perfect splits. He'll have that upper thigh cut. Double jointed knees that'll go in about this far. And then he has the ankles that'll go up, down, rotate at the top, and pivot. And then he'll have toe articulation. So all in all, this Batman has really good articulation. I love the look. I think this is incredible. I think if you have a lot of Batman villains, you can just do photos where he's just getting trounced by everybody. I think that's great. I really like this Batman. This is a really solid Batman figure. Another thing that these guys come with are 2 of these. These are just the black standard McFarlane base stands. And instead of coming with 2 cards, it only comes with 1, and it's just Batman versus Bane. And it's the same art as on the back of the box. It's just Batman breaking Bane's back, and then you have like a little descriptor of what's going on. It's where he's like, oh yeah, Batman lost. Batman lost this one. Okay. And next, I will move on to Bane. And Bane is really big, so when I get into this, I have to push him far back because he is really tall. I mean, look at him compared to Batman. He is towering over him. And I do want to do some size comparisons with the Mafex Batman with this one because, again, this Bane is so big. I like him a lot. He is He uses some similar elements from the previous Bane with some new additions, i.e. making his back look cleaner, removing the backpack. I never owned that figure, but from what I understood, like, they did do some changes to make this guy look classic. And just like the Batman, there is shading through here, like blue highlights running throughout. It's mainly on the front of the figure. The back of the figure does not have any extra paint. The only extra paint you see is on the belt. And it has some dark grays mixed in with it, and I think that's a really nice touch. And you see all these pockets, all this extra boot detail, some treads, some peg holes. You see all that. It looks great. I really like the blue piping that they put through the figure to make it look a little more comic booky. And you see this like arm pack that leads the tube directly to the back of his head. And you see that shading throughout the rest of the head, like the blue highlights. I really like that. I think it's a nice touch. I like the Bane head. It's just very, very Bane-esque. And then you see like the shoulder hair up here, and you see some more hair up there. Because Bane's a hairy guy, but limited. I would have loved if they would have added some hair to the arms or some hair to the chest. I think that would have been a nice touch. All in all, the Bane has a really great look. A little top heavy, you know, but that's kind of the look. The only reason I don't like that he's so big is because it's really hard to get him into frame. And yeah, I really like his look as well. So for his articulation, his is more limited because he's a bit of a bigger guy. His head can look up about this high. So not super high. You can look down about that far, which is good because most people are going to be shorter than him. His arms can lift up about this high. Still does like the standard T-pose, and they can go all the way around. There is no bicep swivel. You can do a little bit of the in and out motion. He does have only single jointed elbows, which, I mean, makes sense. His biceps are huge, so it's not going to be super easy to bend in all the way. And then he just has like just single hinge arms that can go fling all the way around, you know. But oh, one thing, these single joints also rotate as well. Forgot to mention that. And then he only has a ball joint at the torso, so he can bend back this far and bend forward. Not really that much, but he can rotate. His legs can kick up really high, actually, higher than Batman. And he can do the perfect splits as well, which is impressive. And then he has thigh swivel. I feel like I have a greater range with the thigh swivel on this figure. And then he has double jointed knees that go in all the way, which is really cool. Let me pop that back in. And then his feet go up and down. Just a little bit of wiggle, and then toe articulation, which makes sense because you have to support all of this plastic. All in all, the Bane's articulation isn't terrible, but, you know, it could be better, and I'm waiting for the Mafex one because it's going to have much better articulation than this guy. I think this guy just casts incredible profile. Oh, and Bane comes with a pair of fists. That is something that the original Bane figure did not have, so I'm happy to get a pair of fists. All in all, this 2-pack looks great. These guys look awesome together, and I will get into some size comparisons, and then you guys can enjoy the photos at the end. I'm not going to have a whole lot of photos this time. Again, these guys aren't super articulated. I'm just going to get into some Knightfall stuff with that, and maybe some photos with the Mafex one as well. But I will be right back. So here they are with the Mafex Night Crusader Batman, and this Knightfall Batman is not going to scale with any other 6-inch figures. He is a 7-inch scale line, so that's not really going to work out. What I really wanted to do is just kind of move this guy to the side and show you what he looked like in profile with this Bane. So just have him look up at him. This is what I wanted. This behemoth. This is the kind of look that I was going for. Another thing I want to get into real quick is just some stuff with the Batman figures for McFarlane. Again, if you know anything about McFarlane, he likes to make Batman figures, so this is not the first Batman figure he's ever released. But I'm just going to show Bane off with a couple of mega figures and a couple of Batman villains, as well as Batman himself, because, you know, I don't know if anyone's ever seen the Knightfall Batman, so I'll just do some scaling for you guys. So here he is with Mongol. I am also getting the new McFarlane Darkseid mega figure, and that one is definitely going to be shipping soon because my bank account is empty. Let's see. Here's these guys together. Mongol is slightly taller than Bane, actually, and I think that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. This Bane is huge, though. Let me grab my clay face. Swap these guys out real quick. Clayface is also pretty big. And let me grab my Man-Bat. My Man-Bat has a really hard time standing, though, so I might have to support him emotionally, mentally, and physically. And I'll just pepper Batman in with these guys because they are big compared to this Batman. Not huge, but big. I'm just going to get out a few more Batman villains to scale with this Batman and this Bane. So here is Riddler. And Riddler scales pretty well because he's based off of that Blue Beetle body mold. You know, these guys are great together, you know. I'm really liking that they're adding more and more classic villains. Like the Penguin and Zsasz. Zsasz actually has the same body mold as the Riddler, so it makes sense that they would be good together. And then we have Mr. Freeze. I like the new one that they're putting out, so hopefully you all can get excited for that as well. And here we have the Joker. This is the Three Jokers version, one of my favorites. This is the Clown. And then for the only comic book Two-Face to my knowledge that they've made, here is the Batman Reborn Two-Face. And this one also works as like good scale for the Hush figure. It's the Hush style figure. And he's taller actually than this Batman. So here's all these guys together. And then one last one. I have the original Knightfall Batman that I'm gonna pull out. Let's see. Grab them real quick. Get all these guys out of the way. And there we go. You can see all the differences between the top chest sculpt right there. And the differences between the blues and the grays. I really love this figure. This is probably one of my favorite Batman figures. One of my favorite like standard release Batman figures. It's one of my favorite Batman looks. But this is incredible. If they could apply this color scheme to this figure, I think it would be perfect. I know that they released a Knightfall Batman with a darker gray and like the kind of shading added to the figure. That's okay. I like this better. It reminds me of like the Superpowers-y type colors, but I like this a lot, and I think you guys will too if you guys are looking for a great 2-pack and can't really afford the Mafex figures. I think this is an awesome alternative. I hope you guys enjoy the photos. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate the community, and I'll see you guys in the next one.